When they were building Machu Picchu, they would have known about this place.
Hidden in plain sight for millennia, Peru's megaliths are rewriting history, and it took AI to uncover the truth. For generations, the megalithic sites of Peru, Sacsayhuamán, Machu Picchu, and the Nazca lines have baffled historians and scientists alike. The precision of the stonework, the mysterious alignments, and the sheer scale of construction sparked theories ranging from lost civilizations to extraterrestrial help. But now, with the power of artificial intelligence, researchers have uncovered patterns and secrets buried deep within these ruins. Discoveries so shocking that they're forcing us to rethink everything we thought we knew about the ancient world. Stick with me until the end, because what AI uncovered in these ruins is stranger and more advanced than anyone imagined. The mind-blowing AI discovery that changed everything. Picture this: Japanese scientists working with cutting-edge artificial intelligence technology just made one of the most shocking archaeological discoveries of our time. In just 6 months, their AI system uncovered 303 previously unknown giant symbols carved into Peru's Nazca Desert, essentially doubling the number of geoglyphs we knew existed after nearly a century of searching. But here's where it gets absolutely wild. Among these newly discovered symbols, AI found something that left scientists completely stunned. A massive 72-foot-long orca wielding a knife. Yeah, you heard that right. An ancient civilization somehow carved a killer whale holding a blade into the desert floor over 2,000 years ago, in a place hundreds of miles from the ocean. The AI didn't stop there. It also revealed human-like figures with elaborate headdresses, decapitated heads, spiders, birds, and what some researchers are cautiously calling alien-like figures. The precision and speed of these discoveries have completely revolutionized archaeological research in Peru, but it's also raised some pretty mind-bending questions about what else might be hidden beneath the surface. What makes this discovery even more incredible is the speed at which it happened. Traditional archaeological surveys would have taken decades to cover the same ground that AI analyzed in just months. The technology used satellite imagery combined with machine learning algorithms trained to recognize subtle patterns in soil coloration and texture that indicate ancient human activity. The research team, led by scientists from Yamagata University in Japan, didn't just randomly point AI at the desert and hope for the best. They carefully trained their algorithms using known Nazca geoglyphs, teaching the system to recognize the specific characteristics that distinguish ancient earthworks from natural geological features. The results were beyond anything they expected. It also revealed that the Nazca lines are far more complex and extensive than anyone had imagined. The newly discovered geoglyphs aren't just random additions. They appear to form coherent groups and patterns that suggest sophisticated planning and cultural meaning. Perhaps most surprisingly, many of these AI-discovered geoglyphs are much smaller than the famous giant lines visible from aircraft. Some are only a few meters across, designed to be viewed from ground level, rather than from the sky. This completely changes our understanding of who these symbols were meant for and how they were used in ancient Nazca society. The megalithic mystery that baffled scientists for decades. Before we dive deeper into these AI revelations, let's talk about why Peru's megalithic sites have been driving archaeologists absolutely crazy for generations. We're talking about structures that shouldn't exist according to the conventional understanding of ancient technology. Take Sacsayhuamán, for example. This fortress-like complex near Cusco features stone blocks that weigh up to 200 tons, cut and fitted together with such incredible precision that you can't even slip a piece of paper between them. No mortar, no gaps. Just perfect stone-on-stone construction that has survived massive earthquakes for over 500 years. But here's the kicker. These massive stones have complex curved surfaces that interlock like a three-dimensional jigsaw puzzle. Each stone is unique. with surfaces that curve and bend in ways that would challenge modern engineers with all their advanced tools and technology. The traditional explanation? The Incas did it with bronze chisels, hammerstones, and wooden rollers. But when you really think about it, that's like saying someone built a Ferrari with a hammer and screwdriver. The level of precision required is absolutely mind-boggling. What makes Sacsayhuamán even more mysterious is its construction timeline. Historical records suggest it took over 70 years to complete, with more than 20,000 workers involved in its construction. Yet, the precision remained absolutely consistent throughout the entire project, suggesting not just advanced techniques, but also incredibly sophisticated project management and quality control systems. The site itself covers more than 3,000 hectares, making it one of the largest archaeological complexes in South America. The main structure consists of 3 massive terraced walls built in a zigzag pattern, with each terrace standing about 20 feet high. The stones used in construction were quarried from locations up to 20 kilometers away, requiring transportation methods that remain completely unexplained. But Sacsayhuamán isn't unique. Similar construction techniques appear at sites throughout Peru, including Ollantaytambo, Pisac, and dozens of other locations. Each site demonstrates the same impossible precision, the same massive stone weights, and the same mysterious construction methods. It's as if an entire civilization possessed secret knowledge that has been completely lost to modern times. What's particularly puzzling is that these techniques seem to have appeared fully developed, without any evidence of gradual improvement or experimentation. It's as if one day, ancient Peruvians just suddenly knew how to cut and fit massive stones with impossible precision, then use these techniques consistently across hundreds of sites for centuries. Modern attempts to recreate these construction methods have failed spectacularly. Even with cranes, power tools, and modern engineering knowledge, we can't achieve the same level of precision and durability that ancient builders accomplished with supposedly primitive tools. Ancient technology that defies modern understanding. Here's where things get really interesting. The precision cutting techniques used in Peru's megalithic structures showcase engineering skills that seem almost impossible for ancient civilizations to achieve. They're shaped with complex angles and curves that require mathematical understanding we didn't think existed back then. Recent research has proposed some fascinating theories about how this was accomplished. Some experts suggest that the ancient builders had access to stone softening techniques using acids from local plants. The idea is that they could somehow soften the stone enough to pour it like concrete, then let it harden into these perfect interlocking shapes. Others theorize that the builders used a technique called masonry course merging and splitting, where smaller stones were used to fill gaps between larger blocks, creating the illusion of impossible precision. But even this theory doesn't fully explain how they achieved such perfect fits with stones weighing hundreds of tons. What makes this even more mysterious is that similar techniques appear at megalithic sites across Peru, from the high Andes to the coastal desert regions. It's as if this advanced knowledge were widespread across different cultures and time periods, yet somehow completely disappeared from the historical record. The stone softening theory has gained particular attention because of reports from Spanish conquistadors who claim to have witnessed indigenous peoples using plant extracts to soften stones. These accounts were largely dismissed as fantasy, but modern chemical analysis has revealed that certain Amazonian plants do contain acids capable of breaking down the mineral bonds in granite and other hard stones. Dr. Alfredo Gamarra, a controversial researcher, has proposed that ancient Peruvians developed a sophisticated understanding of geology and chemistry that allowed them to manipulate stone at the molecular level. His experiments with plant-based acids have shown promising results, though the scientific community remains skeptical about whether these techniques could achieve the precision seen at megalithic sites. Another theory involves the use of sound and vibration to cut stone. Some researchers point to legends in various cultures about using sound to move or shape massive stones. While this might sound like pure fantasy, modern ultrasonic cutting technology does use sound waves to achieve incredibly precise cuts in hard materials. The mathematical precision of these structures is equally baffling. Many of the megalithic sites in Peru incorporate complex geometric relationships, astronomical alignments, and proportional ratios that suggest advanced mathematical knowledge. The builders weren't just stacking stones, they were implementing sophisticated architectural and engineering principles that rival modern construction techniques. Perhaps most mysteriously, the ancient builders seem to have possessed detailed knowledge of local geology that allowed them to select stones with specific properties for different structural purposes. Load-bearing stones, decorative elements, and joint stones were each chosen for their unique characteristics, suggesting a level of materials science that we typically associate with much more recent periods. The transportation methods remain equally puzzling. Moving 200-ton blocks across mountainous terrain using only human and animal power should have been impossible, yet these massive stones were somehow transported from quarries dozens of kilometers away and lifted into precise positions hundreds of feet above ground level. The Nazca Lines Revolution. Now, let's get back to those incredible AI discoveries. The Nazca Lines have fascinated people for decades, but what we've been seeing was apparently just the tip of the iceberg. The AI analysis discovered an entirely new category of geoglyphs that human researchers had completely overlooked. The breakthrough came when researchers trained artificial intelligence to recognize patterns in satellite imagery that human eyes simply couldn't detect. The AI could process massive amounts of data in hours that would take human researchers decades to analyze. But more importantly, it could spot subtle variations in soil color and texture that indicated ancient earthworks invisible to casual observation. What's absolutely fascinating is that many of these newly discovered geoglyphs are much smaller than the famous Nazca lines we all know about. While the classic lines were designed to be seen from great heights, these smaller figures seem to be meant for ground-level viewing. This suggests the ancient Nazca people created art for different purposes and different audiences than we ever imagined. The AI also revealed clustering patterns in the geoglyphs that suggest they weren't randomly placed across the desert. Instead, they appear to follow specific routes and gathering points, possibly indicating ancient pilgrimage paths or ceremonial circuits that connected different parts of their civilization. The scale of this AI revolution in archaeology cannot be overstated. The traditional method of discovering Nazca geoglyphs involved teams of researchers walking across the desert for weeks or months, carefully examining the ground for subtle signs of ancient earthworks. This process was prone to missing features that weren't obviously visible to the human eye. The AI system developed by the Yamagata University team processes high-resolution satellite imagery, using deep learning algorithms specifically trained to identify archaeological features. The system can analyze thousands of square kilometers of desert in the time it would take a human team to survey just a few square kilometers on foot. But the AI's capabilities go far beyond simple pattern recognition. The system can also analyze the relationships between different geoglyphs, identifying groupings and alignments that suggest cultural connections and shared purposes. This has revealed that the Nazca lines aren't just individual artistic expressions, they're part of a vast, interconnected landscape of symbolic meaning. The newly discovered geoglyphs also show much greater diversity than the famous large-scale lines. While the classic Nazca lines primarily depict animals, geometric shapes, and simple human figures, the AI has uncovered complex scenes that appear to tell stories or depict mythological events. Some show multiple figures interacting, others display intricate patterns that might represent astronomical phenomena or religious concepts. Perhaps most intriguingly, The AI has identified temporal patterns in the geoglyphs, suggesting they were created over many centuries and possibly by different cultural groups. Some styles appear to be much older than others, while some show evidence of later modification or addition. This suggests the Nazca Desert was an active cultural landscape for much longer than previously thought. The geographic distribution of the newly discovered geoglyphs is also revealing important information about ancient Nazca society. Rather than being concentrated in a single area, the symbols are spread across a vast region, suggesting either a much larger population than previously estimated or a culture that used the entire desert as a canvas for artistic and religious expression. The killer whale mystery that has scientists puzzled. Let's talk about that 72-foot orca wielding a knife, because this discovery is absolutely blowing minds in the archaeological community. First off, we're talking about a civilization that lived hundreds of miles inland from the Pacific Ocean. How did they even know what killer whales looked like in such incredible detail? The depiction shows anatomically correct features of an orca, including the distinctive dorsal fin, body proportions, and even details that suggest the ancient artists had intimate knowledge of these marine mammals. But here's the really wild part. The orca is holding what appears to be a ceremonial knife, suggesting these ancient people associated killer whales with ritual or warfare. Some researchers speculate that this could indicate trade networks or cultural exchange between coastal and inland civilizations that was far more extensive than we previously imagined. Others wonder if this might represent mythological beings rather than actual animals, perhaps connecting to oral traditions that have been lost to time. But the knife detail is what's really got everyone talking. In ancient Peruvian cultures, ceremonial knives called tumis were incredibly important religious and political symbols. Seeing one in the grasp of a killer whale suggests a complex mythology that connected marine life, ritual sacrifice, and spiritual power in ways we're only beginning to understand. The anatomical accuracy of the orca depiction raises fascinating questions about how inland peoples could have obtained such detailed knowledge of marine life. The figure shows specific details like the position of the eyes, the texture of the skin, and even the proportions of different body parts. This level of detail suggests either direct observation or incredibly detailed second-hand accounts. One possibility is that the Nazca people had much more extensive trade and cultural connections with coastal peoples than we previously realized. Archaeological evidence already shows that marine resources, including shells and fish, were traded far inland in pre-Columbian Peru. But the Orca geoglyph suggests this exchange included not just physical goods, but also detailed cultural knowledge about marine ecosystems. The ceremonial knife being held by the orca adds another layer of complexity to this mystery. Tumis were sacred objects associated with sacrifice, healing, and political power. The fact that the orca is depicted holding such an important cultural symbol suggests it played a significant role in Nazca mythology and religious practices. Dr. Johnny Isla, Peru's chief archaeologist for the Nazca lines, has suggested that the orca might represent a powerful spiritual being or deity in the Nazca religion. In many Andean cultures, animals are seen as spiritual messengers or representations of natural forces. An orca wielding a ceremonial knife might represent the power of the ocean, the connection between different realms, or the authority to give and take life. The positioning and orientation of the orca geoglyph also provide clues about its significance. Unlike many of the larger Nazca lines that are aligned with astronomical phenomena, the orca appears to be oriented toward the Pacific Ocean, possibly symbolizing a spiritual connection between the inland desert and the distant sea. The discovery has also prompted researchers to re-examine other marine-themed geoglyphs in the region. Several previously known Nazca figures depict fish, birds, and other sea life, but the Orca is by far the most detailed and elaborate. This suggests it held special significance in Nazca culture, possibly representing a central figure in their mythology or religious practices. The size of the Orca also speaks to its importance. Creating a geoglyph of this scale would have required significant community effort and resources. The fact that the Nazca people invested so much work in depicting a creature they couldn't easily observe suggests it played a crucial role in their cultural identity and spiritual beliefs. The hidden ceremonial complex that rewrites history. The AI discoveries aren't limited to desert geoglyphs. Recent LiDAR analysis of Machu Picchu and surrounding areas has revealed hidden ceremonial complexes that completely change our understanding of how extensive these ancient civilizations really were. We're talking about sophisticated water management systems, residential areas, and ritual spaces that were completely invisible until AI-enhanced technology revealed them. The precision of the water management systems is particularly impressive, showing engineering sophistication that rivals modern construction techniques. What's really exciting is that these discoveries are showing us that the megalithic builders were designing entire landscapes. The placement of temples, residential areas, and water systems follows patterns that integrate seamlessly with the natural topography while creating specific astronomical alignments and viewpoints. This level of landscape architecture suggests a civilization with advanced mathematical and engineering knowledge, long-term planning capabilities, and a sophisticated understanding of how to work with, rather than against, natural systems. The LiDAR technology used in these discoveries works by shooting millions of laser pulses at the ground and measuring how long they take to bounce back. This creates incredibly detailed three-dimensional maps that can reveal structures hidden beneath forest canopy, soil, or vegetation. When applied to the Machu Picchu region, LiDAR revealed an archaeological landscape far more complex than anyone had imagined. The hidden ceremonial complexes aren't just additional buildings. They represent entirely different types of spaces than what's visible on the surface. Some appear to be amphitheater-like structures carved directly into mountainsides, designed for large gatherings or performances. Others show evidence of being specialized workshops for crafts like metalworking, textile production, or stone carving. The water management systems revealed by LiDAR are particularly remarkable. These are sophisticated networks that channel water from mountain springs through multiple levels and purposes. Some channels appear designed for purely practical purposes, like irrigation or drinking water, while others seem to serve ceremonial functions, creating specific sounds or visual effects as water flows through carved stone channels. What's most impressive about these water systems is their integration with the architectural and landscape design. Water channels are integral parts of the aesthetic and spiritual design of these spaces. Fountains, pools, and cascades are positioned to create specific visual effects, acoustic properties, and symbolic meanings that enhance the ceremonial functions of different areas. The residential areas revealed by LiDAR also challenge our assumptions about how these sites were used. Rather than being occupied by small numbers of elite individuals, the hidden structures suggest much larger populations lived and worked in these mountain complexes. This implies that sites like Machu Picchu were functioning cities rather than exclusive retreats. Perhaps most significantly, the LiDAR analysis has revealed that these hidden complexes are connected by an extensive network of roads, stairs, and pathways that link different sites across vast distances. This suggests a level of regional planning and coordination that indicates these ancient civilizations were far more organized and sophisticated than traditional archaeology has recognized. The astronomical alignments built into these hidden structures are equally impressive. Many of the newly discovered buildings are precisely oriented to capture sunlight at specific times of year, creating dramatic lighting effects during solstices and equinoxes. Some structures appear designed to frame specific star constellations or planetary movements, suggesting these spaces served as both ceremonial centers and astronomical observatories. The 4,750-year-old megalithic plaza that predates everything. Just when you think Peru's ancient mysteries can't get any more impressive, archaeologists announced the discovery of a circular stone plaza at Calakpuma that's 4,750 years old, making it one of the earliest known megalithic structures in all of the Americas. This discovery is absolutely revolutionary because it pushes back the timeline of sophisticated stone construction in Peru by thousands of years. We're talking about hunter-gatherer societies creating monumental stone architecture at the same time Stonehenge was being built, but completely independently on the other side of the world. The plaza shows evidence of ceremonial use, with sophisticated astronomical alignments and acoustic properties that suggest its builders had an advanced understanding of both astronomy and sound engineering. The fact that nomadic peoples invested the enormous effort required to quarry, transport, and precisely place these massive stones indicates that this site held incredible spiritual or cultural significance. What's particularly mind-blowing is that this construction happened during a time when most of the world's civilizations were still using simple tools and living in temporary shelters. Yet here in Peru, ancient peoples were already mastering megalithic construction techniques that would later be refined into the incredible precision we see at sites like Sacsayhuamán and Machu Picchu. The Calakpuma discovery was made by Jason Tuohy, an American archaeologist working with local Peruvian researchers. The site was identified during a survey of previously unexplored areas in the Cajamarca region of northern Peru. What initially appeared to be natural rock formations turned out to be carefully arranged megaliths forming a perfect circle approximately 18 meters in diameter. Carbon dating of organic material found beneath and around the stones confirmed the plaza's incredible age. At 4,750 years old, it predates the Egyptian pyramids, Stonehenge, and virtually every other known megalithic structure in the world. This makes it for our understanding of early human civilization globally. The construction techniques used at Calakpuma show remarkable sophistication for such an early period. The stones, some weighing several tons, were precisely cut and fitted without the use of mortar. The circular arrangement isn't just approximately round, it's geometrically perfect, suggesting the builders had advanced mathematical knowledge and surveying techniques. But what's really fascinating about Calakpuma is its acoustic properties. The circular stone arrangement creates a natural amphitheater effect, where sounds made in the center of the plaza are amplified and clarified for listeners around the perimeter. This acoustic engineering indicates the plaza was designed specifically for gatherings where spoken words, music, or chanting needed to be heard by large groups of people. The astronomical alignments at Calakpuma are equally impressive. The entrance to the plaza is precisely aligned with the sunrise on the summer solstice, while other stone arrangements within the circle mark the positions of important stars and constellations as they appeared 4,750 years ago. This suggests the site served not just as a gathering place but as an ancient observatory for tracking seasonal and celestial cycles. The discovery of Calakpuma forces us to completely reconsider the timeline of human technological development in the Americas. Traditional models suggested that complex stone architecture didn't develop in Peru until much later, possibly around 3,000 years ago. The Calakpuma Plaza pushes this timeline back by nearly 2 millennia, suggesting that sophisticated construction techniques developed much earlier than anyone expected. Perhaps most intriguingly, the Calakpuma Plaza appears to be part of a larger complex of ancient structures scattered across the region. Preliminary surveys have identified at least a dozen other stone arrangements that may be of similar age, suggesting that 4,750 years ago, This area of Peru was home to a sophisticated culture capable of large-scale construction projects. The implications of this discovery extend far beyond Peru. If hunter-gatherer societies in South America were building sophisticated megalithic structures 4,750 years ago, what does this tell us about the capabilities of early human civilizations elsewhere? The Sacsayhuamán Plaza suggests that our ancestors were far more advanced than traditional archaeology has recognized. AI pattern recognition reveals ancient astronomical connections. One of the most groundbreaking aspects of AI analysis is its ability to uncover astronomical connections across Peru's ancient sites that human researchers had overlooked. Unlike traditional approaches that focus on individual symbols or structures, AI can process relationships across hundreds of sites at once, revealing regional patterns that span vast distances. This has shown that ancient Peruvians were creating a massive interconnected system of alignments tied to celestial events with extraordinary precision. The AI has revealed that many geoglyphs and structures align with key astronomical markers such as solstice sunrises, Venus cycles, the Pleiades, and even the Southern Cross. These discoveries suggest that the ancient builders weren't merely creating art or ritual spaces, but a landscape-scale observatory system capable of tracking celestial movements over centuries. The precision rivals that of modern instruments, with some geoglyphs aligned to capture lunar standstills, planetary conjunctions, and even the effects of precession, showing a level of astronomical sophistication far beyond what was previously assumed. Even more intriguing, the AI has shown that different types of geoglyphs correspond to different historical periods, reflecting evolving astronomical focus and possibly shifting religious or agricultural practices. Early works emphasize solar and lunar cycles, while later ones highlight planetary alignments and star clusters. This suggests that astronomical knowledge was developed over time, with successive generations of astronomer priests embedding their observations into the desert floor as enduring records of celestial events. Perhaps the most remarkable finding is that the Nazca geoglyphs appear to follow a larger master plan. Rather than being scattered randomly, they fit into a sophisticated geometric framework that integrates mathematical relationships, astronomical alignments, and landscape features. This level of coordination implies advanced surveying techniques and the ability to organize large-scale labor forces over long periods. Far from being mere artistic expressions, these geoglyphs represent a complex, landscape-wide astronomical calendar and knowledge system, evidence of civilizations whose scientific and organizational capabilities continue to astonish us today. The controversial theories that science can't fully explain. Peru's megalithic sites have long fueled debate, inspiring theories that range from giants and lost civilizations to extraterrestrial involvement. The extraordinary precision, massive stone transport, and architectural coordination challenge conventional ideas of what ancient peoples could achieve with the tools historians believe they had. While mainstream archaeology favors explanations rooted in human ingenuity, it also acknowledges that many aspects of these sites remain puzzling and not yet fully explained. Alternative theories propose fascinating possibilities. Some researchers suggest the ancient Peruvians may have developed ways to soften stone with plant-based acids, effectively molding blocks before they hardened, while others point to rope, lever, or pulley systems not yet successfully recreated in modern experiments. At the same time, thinkers like Graham Hancock and Brian Forster argue these achievements point to advanced civilizations predating mainstream timelines, hinting at technological knowledge that may have been lost to history. The debates go further, touching on ideas such as extraterrestrial influence or advanced but forgotten engineering techniques, precision stone cutting that resembles machining, mysterious acoustic properties built into structures, and complex mathematical or astronomical alignments all add to the mystery. Critics often dismiss such claims as pseudoscience, yet the consistent presence of measurable acoustic effects, geometric principles, and alignments across multiple sites leaves room for ongoing questions about intentional design versus coincidence. Adding to the intrigue is the sudden appearance of advanced construction methods in the archaeological record, without evidence of gradual development. Transporting and fitting massive stones with such accuracy remains unexplained, as modern attempts rarely achieve similar results. New discoveries using ground-penetrating radar are further complicating the picture, uncovering hidden chambers, passages, and drainage systems beneath sites that reveal even deeper levels of engineering sophistication. Together, these findings suggest that the full story of Peru's megalithic builders is far from settled. Artificial intelligence has uncovered that Peru's megalithic sites are far more vast, advanced, and enigmatic than previously believed, revealing everything from knife-wielding whale geoglyphs to mountain-spanning ceremonial complexes. These findings, featuring precise stonework, astronomical alignments, and structures like the 4,750-year-old Calakpuma Plaza, push back the timeline of human innovation and challenge assumptions about ancient knowledge. More than rewriting archaeology, they highlight sustainable engineering and wisdom that could guide today's struggles with climate change and development. And with AI discoveries accelerating, our entire understanding of human history may be transformed within the next decade. What do you think about these incredible AI discoveries? Do they change how you view ancient civilizations, or do they raise even more questions than they answer?